starting pointers for the wrist figure eights exercise. The main point of this exercise is all about bending the wrist a lot. So it's going to take our wrist through its full range of motion. So the wrist bending up, which is extension, the wrist bending down, which is flexion, and then side bending of the wrist as well, which is called deviation. Kind of weird, huh? But whatever. So it's going to take the wrist through all those motions by drawing the shape of a figure eight in both directions. You're going to start with just 0 to 1 pounds in this case, so something very light. You can work up though to possibly 5 to even 7 pounds as you strengthen the wrist muscles. Keep in mind the forearm here may try to help out with the whole figure eight shape. That's okay as long as you do see that your wrist is moving quite a bit through lots of different range, okay? If you feel like you're doing a lot more just with your forearm and the wrist is not really bending a lot, you can try holding your forearm still, and we're gonna learn with one arm first and then we'll go to being able to do both arms at the same time to save time. But you can hold your forearm and that can help you to understand, make sure that you're having that bending at the wrist. This is a great exercise to do as a warm-up, during the workout, at the end of a workout, or even just, when you're out and about, sitting at the stoplight in your car. It's gonna increase blood flow to the muscles. It's gonna loosen up stiffness in the joint and help stretch those muscles. Let's go ahead and get started. I forgot to say one more thing. You're looking to do one set of 8 to 10 in one direction, and then one set of 8 to 10 in the opposite direction. And I suggest you get 1 or 2 highlighters because we're gonna learn how to do this movement with a highlighter first so you can really visualize the figure eight. All right, we can now get started.
Hey ladies, real quick, if you leave a comment below to help grow my YouTube channel, I am going to be choosing a winner from the comments once a month for a legit prize, okay? This is not a sticky sock. So if you win, you get to pick either a awesome houseplant, because I've gotten super obsessed with houseplants this last year, like super obsessed. Have you? And if you're not into houseplants, that's okay, because you can also choose this really neat inspirational t-shirt, which you cannot find anywhere else, even Amazon, because it was specially designed for Inspireful Women. So here's how it works. Leave a comment on the videos I release each month, which is 4 videos. If you leave a comment on all 4 videos, you get 4 entries to win. Because I'm a super small YouTube channel right now, you have a really high chance of winning. So go ahead and leave a comment. Could be as simple as just, hi Razel or hi Ray. That's it. All right, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, to do the figure eight wrist exercise, we're going to use a highlighter. So I'm just gonna start with one. I think I'll start with an orange one because it's a different color. You see it really well. But if you learn this exercise with a highlighter, it'll help you really visualize the figure eight until you get the movement down, and then you'll be able to do it with a dumbbell more readily. So it's really cold out here. There's like a strong wind. I don't know if you can see my goosebumps, but like all the little hairs on my arm are like sticking up like I got electrocuted or something. All right, anyhow. Your arm is, as far as the rest of your arm, you're just gonna have your arm bent at your side with your forearm kind of like parallel to the ground, okay? So that's all that we're doing there. You're gonna have your wrists with your palms facing each other. The goal is eventually to do these both arms together, right? Both wrists together. But we'll just start with one. So hold on to your highlighter. We've got the palm kind of facing to the side here, so not facing down, but like this. This is called a neutral wrist position. And what you're gonna do is you're just going to take your pen and you're gonna trace the top of an 8 and then curve across and then draw the bottom of an 8. And then curve across. Now we're back to the top of an 8 and now to the bottom of an 8. Now as you do this figure 8 shape, you wanna kind of take note and see my forearm is kind of raising up like this. So try to keep the forearm a little bit more parallel to the ground. I wasn't doing that. But as you do that, try to follow the pen tip with your eyes. That's really good for your mind-muscle connection. And you also want to kind of take a note and make sure that your wrist is bending a lot as you do this. If you find that like the wrist isn't actually bending all that much and you kind of see your forearm moving kind of more here from the elbow joint, you can kind of just hold your forearm with one hand just to kind of hold it a little more still. It's okay if it still moves a little bit, but then you can really focus on the wrist bending. So you can see here I'm really bending the wrist going this way, right? So now we're going to reverse it. I'm going to go backwards from the way I went and draw an 8 the other way like this. Okay, see that? Yeah, so just keep drawing that figure 8 like so. Make sure that the wrist is bending. And that's really all there is to that, like this. Hi, I'm Razel. If you're a woman in your over 40s like myself and you've been wanting to get into resistance training but up to this point have felt kind of intimidated, or maybe you've started but just kind of still feeling unsure of yourself, I really try to create detailed tutorials that break these movements down so you can learn proper technique and feel safe doing the movements. Additionally, over on my website, I cover additional things like common mistakes to avoid for the exercise, how to make it easier, how to make it more difficult. So if you like my style of teaching and you'd like to keep learning with me, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com. So now, if you have another highlighter, we're going to try both at the same time. This is going to be a little like a circus thing, but we're going to get it. Okay, so we're here, palms are facing each other. So I'm going to start by drawing the top of the 8 in towards the pens, going in towards each other here, and then cross, and then the bottom of the 8 I'm moving out away pens from each other. Okay, so then in like this. Okay, here we go. I don't know if I look a little cross-eyed when I bring those pens in together. But there, you can see my forearms are moving a little bit, but you can also see that my wrists are moving. You really want to focus on trying to get a nice big round edges of the 8. So that's kind of where you're going to get a lot of the movement. Right here, see, like, woo! You can even make little sound effects like that. It might help. Woo! Maybe my son can use those in his stop motion videos. Yes, and then we're going to reverse it. So we're here at the top. I'm going to now draw the top of the 8 moving outwards and then cross over, and then doing the bottom of the 8, I'm going to be coming inwards as I start the bottom of the 8, okay? So moving out, top of the 8, moving in, bottom of the 8 there. It's going to feel really good, okay? So as you get used to the movement, we're never going to do this super fast, but you can kind of speed it up a little bit and just make it more fluid. See, you can even go like this. Yeah. So that's it with the pens. So now we're going to hide those little guys, and you can grab a light 1 pound dumbbell. These are 3's. You might eventually be able to get to 5 or 7. But now the trick is to try to do that whole figure 8 thing with the dumbbell without the pen, which is surprisingly a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to start with the way I was going, which is drawing the top of the 8. So I'm like, think about the head of the dumbbell here as being like the thing that you're drawing with, okay? So I'm going to draw the top of the 8 moving out. Then I'm going to cross and try to draw the bottom of the 8. Now, right now my bottom of the 8's kind of like a little bit of a flat thing, but I'm doing the best I can. But here I'm going out and in, just like this. And then I'm going to reverse it. So then I'm coming, drawing that out there, like that. And again, try to really make sure the wrists are bending a fair amount. It might look a little messy. In the end, if you're not like, maybe your 8 just looks like some weird squiggly thing. That is okay. Like, honestly, all that really matters is just that your wrist is bending a fair amount, and that it's both going this way and that way, and kind of bending to the sides, to both sides. That's all we're really trying to achieve here, and the 8's just kind of something to help us do that. But as long as your wrist is bending a fair amount, like, let's just call it good, right? So that's it for the exercise. Again, 1 set of 8 to 10 one direction, and then 1 set of 8 to 10 the other direction. Thanks for being with me today, ladies. Once again, I'm Razel, and if you're a woman in your over 40s like myself and you'd like to do full-length workouts using these sorts of exercises, I also create those. They are follow along with me in beautiful outdoor nature settings still as well, and we use chill music, something kind of different than you've seen in most exercise classes. If that sounds like your jam and you like my style of teaching, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com.